Mark Osborne, good day. I'll give it 30 seconds because I think there's an ad. Might not be. Anyway, good day, Mark Osborne. Who else? Peter Nuttall, good day. Here we are. I'm a bit crook, to be honest. Last night I didn't sleep particularly well, and I come home at sort of smoko time and had to sleep, to be honest. Should be right tomorrow. No cows tonight, they moved them. It's excellent. The drink. It's got ice in it because it's cold. No, it's not, it's hot. So what's happening here? I've been unpacking books. That's what's happening. Bit out of the hand. Slowly. There's another bookcase to go in here, and these need screwing together properly, I think. That might be a job. Shouldn't be a big deal to do it, but they need doing. That's a lot of books. So mostly they're all technical books. There's no fiction or anything in any of this stuff. Things that I'm interested in. And then model engineer, mostly. And there's another cabinet for the model engineer. But these are model engineers workshop. I think there's a lot of them anyway. Up to about volume 150, they're all there. Still some to put away. Strictly IC magazine. No, sorry, Strictly IC is down the end. Projects in Metal, very good magazine. Got some of them. Australian Model Engineer, Model Engine Builder going there. Probably a few other things as well. Got a lot of Model Maker, stuff like that. I've actually gone and got a heap of these, which are basically, don't know how it's working, but it's much better than just stacking them all in there together. Basically a placemat from Bunnings hardware store. And I've just put the volume numbers on them, so it's one in each volume, so we can find things, which is very useful. No good having them there if you can't look through them and find stuff. Anyway, everything from clock books to camera books to railway books to internal combustion books to model engineering books to electricity books to workshop books, vintage tractor books, all that stuff. So that's what I've been doing. They're books to go to the swap library, I think. I don't think I'm going to use any of them. Some of them a bit of a wrench. Some good reads there. But probably unlikely to ever read very many of them again, to be honest. If I start looking in here, I'll pull them all out again. Yeah, Triffids. Oh, a tripod, I think that one is. Yeah, Triffids. A tripod strategy. Very good cookbook. World of Street Food. Good book. Some recipes in it. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. Two Father. Letters to Galileo by Davis Sobel, who's I'm a bit of a fan of. Sarah Waters, also a bit of a fan. But I think I can live without these because I've got most of them on audiobook, to be honest. And I do listen to them regularly, so it might be time to move these down. Anyway, might keep the cookbook yet, we don't know. There's another book here, another box here that I'm not sure what I'm doing with. I'll shift this. Where's the scissors gone? What do I do with the scissors this time? No idea. Where's Bill's knife? Bill's knife will do, that's here. Right. This box here, I don't know what to do about these. I'm not particularly attached to them, but Practical Mechanics, Hobbies Illustrated, Power Farming, stuff like that. Really good books, really quality stuff, lots of cool projects. Never going to live that long. Hey, Chip. Anyway, there's a book there that I don't know what to do about them. Cool stuff, Australian magazines mostly. Don't know. Anyway, these ones in here are mostly more modern stuff. This is 2010 onwards mostly. So they've got to go on the shelf. And not a big job, but we're getting there. There is a stack of older ones there, and I don't know what they are. Just realised that they're there. I haven't done anything about them. And there's still two boxes around here. So there's all this stuff on the table, which is mostly 1940 to 1960. All this stuff. This is 90s and 2000s. This one, I believe, is 20s and 50s in here. So they've all got to go out. Bit of a job. But I've sort of white ant proofed the bookcases. You can see down there. I'll zoom this in. Hey, Bill. I've put white hand proof treated pine along the bottoms and a piece of aluminium angle line. This is just my collection shirts. I've had these for years. They've sort of slowly get bigger, but I've downsized a lot in this move. My piece of aluminium angle line and some termite proof treated pine. So hopefully that keeps the ants out of them. Put it up in front of this wall that we've just finished. I'll zoom that back out again. More or less, it's not quite finished, but these are only going here temporary until I get some permanent accommodation here, and then they'll probably go in my place because I don't like them sitting here in the kitchen much. Anyway, that's that. What else is happening? What else have we done? Oh gosh, we had a work and bee on Saturday. Sort of a working weekend. A Christmas party and all that stuff. The Christmas party was good. jackhammer. Ah, it's a jackhammer. Yeah, one job we did, or Stuart did and Ken did, in the middle of all this, was we put a ditch in here for the shower. So the shower goes in this corner. It's got a ditch now. That's a very necessary thing. So the boys cut that out, cleaned it up. It's not a bad job, actually. I'm a bit impressed. And I went yesterday and picked up a shower. If anyone's got any ideas about this. Did anyone else get stuck? Did you get all that? Don't know what happened. Sorry, guys. Am I back? Anyway, went yesterday and picked this up, which was $20, which is a bargain. There's full height shower, which we've been looking for a bit. It's got silicone stuck all over it. It could do with the run over with some car polish probably when it's all cleaned up. But that's a job for the future. And that's the shower. I'm not sure anyone measured this before they cut a ditch for the shower. Anyway, we'll see how that works. Anyway, that's something else. Good $20. They're fairly expensive, and that was a bit of a score, so we're going to have to clean that up. Got a new member to the club, which is great. He just lives around the corner. He took this away. We've all been looking at this and wondering what on earth we're going to do. But what I did was I machined down this bearing housing where it was all chopped out. And he's put a spacer under it, a 3mm steel spacer, and then he's just welded 4 bits of steel on here and bolted it all up. So hopefully that doesn't move. That's a good job. Just got to put it back together now. Might put some undercoat on it at some point. So pretty happy with that. That's awesome, and I didn't lift a finger on it after pulling it apart. So big thanks to Peter for that. That's awesome. It makes me feel a little bit more like actually messing with lawnmowers. Another job we did is this tow hitch. We zoomed out again. There we go. This has been a project that's been on the burner for a while, and I go and look at proper clever spins for something like this, and they're fairly expensive, so I haven't really spent the money. But Peter, the gentleman that he had, you're going to hear a bit more about him. He had some plates with holes in them, and I bought them out to fit the pins. And he had a bit of 50 by 50 by 5mm RHS, and he's welded it all up. And we've got a tow or a push post or a tow hitch for the roller. So now we can pull the roller out. How are we going to pull the roller out? Bill, yeah, I'm feeling like I'm going to be right there with him if I'm not careful. Anyway, this is a Howard. Not a Howard like anyone's ever seen. This belongs to your ownership is a bit sort of sketchy. Belongs to a mate at work, actually, and he's given it on permanent loan to the Railway Museum after they restored it. This is a railway tug made by Howard in Australia. It's basically geared to the ground, this thing. It's basically a Howard DH22, which had probably the strongest gearbox of any Australian-made tractor and probably any American-made tractor too. Howard's made rotary hose, and their DH22 tractor was designed to pull rotary hose because Fordson and others basically got the gearboxes chewed up by putting a Howard rotary hoe on them because they weren't capable of doing the job. So old Arthur Haywood come along and said, well, I'm going to build a tractor that will do it. Hey, Mark. And this is what he built, which is the Howard DH22, which is a little front-wheel drive tractor, very good tractor, reliable. Sorry, a little rear-wheel drive tractor with a standard front end on it, very reliable tractor. Modern engine, high nickel content castings, roller rockers and overhead cam. Fairly modern little tractor, decent brakes, and good solid thing. Yeah, she's all gearbox. It was built like a Mack truck in there or heavier. So someone come along from New South Wales government anyway and said to Mr. Haywood, to Mr. Howard, that I don't think it'll do that, Bill, but yeah, I understand the sentiment. But they needed a railway tug, and this is what he came up with, right? It's chain drive from the gearbox to the forward. It's got a take-off here on the front. Bit different in the gearbox, I think. But they've got chain through to here, through the back. Chain take-off in front of the axle on the back, and it goes through and drives each hub separately. In the front. Same motor as the DH22, same gearbox, according to the book. Might be a little bit different in the back end, I'm not sure. But it's certainly got some brakes and some wheel weights. The thing weighs a tonne, probably 3 tonne. And it's not a bad little engine. So it's designed to run on power kerosene, hence the heaters and everything. And it's designed to be a reliable, good thing. It's got 2 seats, front and back, no cushion on the front one. It's got 2 steering wheels, it's got a hand throttle and a foot throttle. It's got a 4-speed box, and it's got independent forward and reverse. So it's got 4 speeds forward and 4 speeds backwards. Handbrake and foot brake. It's had a little bit of work. It's not got the original fuel tank in it. These aren't the original tyres, I don't think. And it's got an Eisman military spec magneto on it, which is pretty good. But the thing runs and starts remarkably well after we spent all day Sunday getting it out of the shed and tow starting it the first time. Anyway, so that's a Howard DH22. Probably getting a bit late to start it. 10 to 8. It probably is a bit late to start it, but it hasn't got a muffler on it. It's just straight out pipe, but it starts very easily. And it's in here because there's no room to put it back in the shed at the moment. It'll only be here a week, probably, a fortnight. And also, on this side, apparently, this chain drive on this side has got a gear missing in the sprocket there, in that hub. So I'd like to sort of do something about that. Go take that cover off and have a look at it, pull the gib out, put a new one in it. And that makes it four-wheel drive again, because this thing, instead of pulling probably 150 tonne, I'll only pull about about 70 tonne, something like that. But good reliable little tractor. That's in the shed for the moment. It's not going to last, it's not going to stay here, and it's probably as much use over there as it is here, but it will pull the roller around. So that's what we've sort of got it here for. And we've cleared a shed over there for it apparently. It's a matter of putting some sort of a place to get across the railway line into one of the gang of sheds, and it can stay there, and it'll be a much easier thing, I think, to move out and start and so forth if we don't have to get out of the other shed, because it has no turning circle. Turning circle on this thing's about 18 metres, something like that, I reckon. Bit terrible. Anyway, so that's another job. When I went and picked up this hand basin, I'll pick up this shower base. I got this nice little wash basin here too, which you'll probably build a vanity under and put on the wall. I think that's a bit more practical than the one we've got. Will certainly take up less room. So, member brought a toilet, and we're going to put that in maybe. A P-trap one with the water going outside through the wall is probably better than this one, which is a S-trap, and you've got to have a hole in the floor for it, but probably neither one's surmountable. And the whole new system's not all that expensive, so that'll do for now. You don't need a turning circle on tracks, Peter says. That's exactly right, you don't. But around the yard here, it's sort of a 4-point turn to do anything. You can turn it round about a 10-point turn. Anyway, Howard. Nice little modern engine. Nice little modern tractor, really, for its time. 1932, I think. Crawler gear is about this pace. And top gear is about this pace. So it's not a quick machine, but it will pull anything. What else? Don't know what else I've done really. There was other stuff we did. We put a power point in the plaster wall for the fridge. That was one job. Don't know much else we did do. The boys must have done something. I don't know what. I spent most of the day machining stuff, like lawnmower parts and the eyes for that push rod. That was my day, and then I put another coat of paint on there on Saturday. Since Sunday, I've been putting books away and opening boxes, so that's a work in progress. Lathe's fairly dirty, actually. Looks like it's actually done some work. Haven't made any progress with anything on that. Do have another little project for the 19 class, which is the locomotive over in another shed. I guess everyone's seen that. Drain cock, no, water gauge glass valve. Not sealing, surprisingly. It's been crooked for a while. We're running out of available flat surfaces here, so we're going to use this. Not this ideal. This is pretty badly gone. Someone's been lapping it and not managed to have much luck with it, because you can't lap these successfully. And this is pretty badly gone too, so it's leaking. It's got a centre hole this end and this end, so I can set it up and machine that, get the angle right and run a cut along it, nice and smooth. And then probably, while the machine's set up still, work out some way to set this up and bore this to match. Secret, I think, is to make a piece to go in here, fits this end and this end nicely, so you can push it in there, and it's got a round piece sticking out that you can set up the indicator by front and back. And if you do that, then not even so much front to back this way, the problem is front to back this way. So if we set this up here and here, you can make a reamer for them. It's a lot of work from experience. I've made reamers, and I have a reamer for the ones on the roller, but it's a different angle I would nearly expect. I might actually get it out and check it before I do anything, but I'd say it's a different angle. Easiest way is just to set it up and bore it. Bore it on the same setting as we do that, and then we've got a job. I'll just get a piece of aluminium or something, piece of bar, and machine one end of it so it just enters that hole, and machine the other end so it just enters this hole, and push it in, and we can set that up nicely with that. So that's usually how I would do that. And we'll get it going. It's already down a millimetre or something. It's really, if we have a look through here, the hole doesn't line up in the centre by any means, which is a bit of an issue, probably. Yeah, it lines up there, it just doesn't line up in here, so I'm probably going to file that out a bit so there's got a bit of room on it too, just to stop the obstructions and so it blows dirt out properly. Anyway, that's another job probably for the weekend. I'll get in and do that. It's not a big job. Don't know what else. I've got casters here. Need some Laplanders, that's right. I've got two casters. I've got two blocks of wood that look like this. Big piece of wood, I think they're 100 by 100, something like 110 by 110. I'm going to screw them on there. We haven't really looked at it properly, so I haven't done it. But theory is we've got this buffer around here, because everyone needs a buffer. I'm going to stay back here where it's light and zoom in rather than go up there where it's dark. A railway buffer off something. Inherited it with the shed. What we're going to do is bolt that onto those blocks of wood with casters on it, and we've got something that doubles as a seat. Locking casters, we've got a bit of a step too, and give it a polish up. We've got a anvil or something as well for doing a bit of banging and stuff on, so that should be quite useful. So that's the job there. Got an ink pot there too that I found when I was cleaning out a box. I don't know what to do with the ink pot. Anyway, it's silver, I think. It might be just silver plate. I haven't really looked. I think it's silver. I did look when I got it. It's fairly thin. Could be nickel plate silver. I don't know. It could be silver plate. I haven't really looked at it. Anyway, there's an inkwell. Here's a useful thing. Right, been looking through books. Got one of these. Missing the front cover. I guess I'll probably find the front cover. Seen some hard work. This is a Starrett book. From some point in the 90s. It's all here. However, if you do manage to get one, in the back, there's some useful tables. One or two in particular. See, this one's done a lot of work. Most of them you will find in any other book. Conversion tables and thread pitch tables and temperature conversion, all that sort of stuff, rules relative to the circle, etc. This one you won't find in any book that I've ever seen. This is a double depth of screw threads, which is kind of useful. If you've got an odd thread, say for example, injector thread, which is inch and eighth roughly diameter and 9 TPI, not on any thread charts, proprietary. 9 TPI, double depth of the V threads is that. So that's how deep the threads have got to be to screw on. That's how deep from the top you've got to go to make a proper pitch thread. In American National Whitworth or threads, American National Whitworth. So if you want 9 TPI, it's got to be American 1.1422 and 0.1443 for different thread angles. Very useful chart. Here's the pitch diameter tables for the thread micrometers. There's wire gauge tables and all that stuff, but they're the main ones. Is the pitch diameter tables for the thread micrometers and double depth the screw threads. So keep one of them books if you're cutting a lot of threads, because there's a lot of odd threads, because they're very useful. Hey, Squatch there. Good day. Anyway, good book. Don't know if I showed anyone that. I think I did. I don't even know where this come from, to be honest. I picked it up somewhere. It's quite a useful little tool. Got no idea where I bought it or was given to me or whatever. I've got no idea. If this come from someone, yep, that's me, Sir Emma. If that come from someone, thank you very much, but I can't remember where I got it. I might have got it off Marketplace. I've got no idea. Anyway, I haven't used it for about 4 years. And I've had it out 3 or 4 times the last little while. Very useful thing. So that's another job. I've temporarily packed up the electrolysis bath. I'm going to have a go at this. We'll go and have a look up here again and all this junk. I'm still frantically sorting stuff out here, and there seems to be more junk arrive. Dan bought a Bulldog plug pump a while back. We've got that here. Ah, crispy too. Crispy taco. Also, there's I don't know if you can see that because it's dark. Sorry about being hard to catch. Yeah, we're all the same time every week. There's a governor off a steam engine there too that's arrived. I'll try and get a better picture of that. Now, down here in this end is my engine, or one of them. There's a cylinder in the back there that's stuck, like excessively. Really not good, to be honest. If we roll this flywheel out of the way, it's heavy. And we moved the original and the gland and the new steam chest and got this out. This cylinder's stuck in more ways than one. It's really not good. Yeah, don't text and drive, but we're glad you come. 4 a.m, it's America somewhere, I guess. So this is stuck. The cylinder heads, or the cylinder base there, the cover's stuck on it, and the cylinder piston's stuck in it, and it's really rotted out inside. So that might go in the electrolysis bath in the next few days. I'd like to get this freed up and somewhere near going. I'd like to have a go at getting this gear off this crank and the flywheel off and get the bearings out of that too, but who knows, it's a bit of a job. Governor's there, it's a Pickering, I think it's a Pickering. I didn't know what price it was going on, or I would have paid the money for it. Anyway, Dan got it. He's got an engine for it. I believe that's still a bit big to go on the roller. I'd like to have a look, but I think it's a bit big. The flange is a bit big to go on the roller. There is a space up there to put it, up behind the safety valve. It'd be very nice to have one. But at this point, it's a fairly expensive bit of kit. There's another one on this engine here. Chirps, good to have you. You too, Squatch. So there's another one on this engine, which is probably about the same size. Basically, it's a flyball governor. I'm sure everyone knows how one of them works, do you? You turn this, faster it goes, the further these turn and it fly out, and the slower, the more it shuts off your steam. And slows the engine down. So that's how that works. What size is the roller? Big is the roller. This is a 10-ton Fowler, officially. The book says it's a 10-ton Fowler. It's a lump of a thing. In reality, it weighs about 15, but it's a 10. Yeah, the roller at some point in the next few weeks is going to get a bit of love and attention and move around, and next time maybe even you come in, it's going to be in a completely different aspect and washed out and ready to do some work on. And turn it round and nose it in and push it in with this new push bar from the drawbar, and that puts our injector out here in the open where we can actually work on it. And we're going to wash the boiler out again, and there's a dozen little projects, but we're starting to get onto them. There's a lot of projects on the roller. Have got a motor for this. Someone, I think it was Stuart, said capacitor. So when I look at it, there is it's a bit bigger probably, it won't hurt it if it goes on, but under the bench over there's a motor sticking out. There's also a little 3-phase one. Might do a job on that at some point. We will pull it out and turn it around and push it back in. It's a much easier thing to push with that bar. If it's got it connected, we can't really... Look, honestly, we probably could if we were careful. What we could do is drive that in there, put the bar on and push it out. In fact, I think we could probably do that. That might be what happens. Pusher bar goes on this pin, I think, hopefully. Like so. Like so. And the other end, I hope, will go on the drawbar with this. Yep, there's enough movement in it, so that's good. Hey, David. Yeah, much more approachable than Laura. We'll put it that way. So that's probably we can nose in there and push it out, but the trouble is nose it in there and then straighten it up. I don't see why we couldn't do that, to be honest. In fact, it's probably a fairly simple thing to turn this thing around this weekend. It's coming back in the shed here. Team Biscuits, g'day. How many humans does it take? A lot. The thing weighs 15 tonne. I'm not even going to attempt that on the concrete, even. But I reckon if we push that out, up the other end past the gate, and out the gate, and then did a U-turn and pulled it up further with the tractor and then pushed it back here. I think that would work very well. It wouldn't be a big deal. Fairly quick job, I think. Anyway, that's something that's happening. It's been a bit of a mission to get that going and this finished, and all those things that we've been meaning to do, or we're trying to do for months, and it's all starting to come together now, so I think we'll be right. What else is happening? Don't know what else is happening. I was reminded of that engine because when I was unpacking, I found this valve, which I think is going to be the steam valve for the Bay Peacock engine. At this point, probably. Cylinder head needs some work. I don't know what to do about the cylinder head, to be honest. We'll have a look at the cylinder head, which is up here in the corner as well. There's lawnmower bits there on the right wheelie bin. These are our recycling wheelie bins. Cows are gone. There we go. Now this is the cylinder head off this, or the top cover, rather than the cylinder head, it's the top cover. Someone's done a job on this and put 3 studs in there for a flange because the middle's broken out or burnt out or something. It's a bit ugly. I'll bust it off or something. It's not very big, as you can see. It's got these fancy teardrop shaped studs in it to stop everything coming undone. I've got the studs made for it. This box of bits here for it that we're working on. So, nuts and studs. Studs go in there like so. Stops them turning. It could have blown the end off, it might have just rusted out or something. Although it's been in service when they've done this, it's a bit ugly. Probably there's a new one of these in the pipeline, just out of solid bar, I think. It shouldn't be a big job, but need to put a flange back on this somehow to put the pipe in, a steam drain cock or whatever into that. So that's the studs, and that's what they look like. A Bay of Peacock from 1856, something like that. They didn't last with that very long, but that's what they had. That won't be a difficult thing to remake at all. Probably going to reline the cylinder first because that's a mess. Like seriously, the cylinder's a mess. We could get out and have a bit of a look at it. I've got steel there too for the cylinder cover studs as well, which I haven't actually made. But I think I've got most of the for the big ones are for the steam chest studs. I've got most of these done for the cylinder covers. It does look a bit like that. I don't think it's a gland because there's no other three stud glands on anything here. I reckon it was just very thin on the outside and it's broken out here, and someone's put a plate over it to get it serviceable. I'm going to drag this out of here. I'm going to put you down. You can talk amongst yourselves, guys. If you will. Have a look at the detail on the tractor tyre. There we go. What did I miss? Haven't got an up to close picture of that without going to the UK and finding the details, but anyway, this is a bit of a mess. It's got spiders growing in it now. The big studs go in here with the cylinder cover on it. These have all come out. Sorry about the fingers. These studs go in here. Did make a plate to put some pressure on this cylinder. And this cover's back down inside here and stuck pretty hard. These all have oval glands on them, which is why the oval chucks, or the ellipse chuck's probably a very useful thing to have for making these in particular. Have a look at this without dropping. We managed that very, very successfully and didn't drop it. Got my t-shirt caught underneath it. Let's sweep that out and have a bit of a look at it. Dan's sharing pictures of saw benches, and he thinks that the outcome is to have a saw bench, not to have a need to have a working historic display. So we're still coming to grips with that. Good theory, but it's not really what we're about. There was a nut on this at some point. Someone's taken it off, and there's a piston. This is pretty badly rusted in here. I don't know if you can see that. It's borderline terrible. I wonder where the... Oh, there we go. Hang on, I'll get the light. If you can, you're not going to get car sick again. Got the light. Still haven't got a battery. There's a battery. Let's have a look. There's a light. So that's pretty bad in there, as you can see. The ports are pretty well rusted out. There's a Daddy Longlegs there. When you have a look, don't know if he's alive or not. He probably is. Yeah, he's alive. He's not real happy when you do that to him. Poor little fella. Anyway, so getting that cylinder out without setting it up and boring it out and putting a new piston in, it's going to be a bit of a job. I don't really want to do that, but it will need a new sleeve in it, and I want to wait until I've done that before I make a new head for it. Be very nice to get that free though. So it's a job for the next little while. A barn spider, there's a difference between a barn spider and a Daddy Longlegs. I think he's just a healthy Daddy Longlegs, to be honest. 3 videos from Tea and Biscuits, that's exactly right, and that's awesome that you're posting that. Anyone else should too. One about cleaning an engine, which is very good. One about what to expect when you buy an engine, which is also very, very good. Refresh our memory. What was the other one about T&B? So anyway, this is a work in progress. I'd like to get it back up and running at some point, but I don't know when. Running the Stewart model. That's right, yeah, running it up runs pretty nice. You didn't run it on steam though, weren't you, on compressed air? I saw that. Thanks for that. So that's what's happening here. There's 1,000 jobs, none of which I seem to be making progress on. All the books that were in this cabinet have been removed. It's back to a tool cabinet nearly. There's a few model engineers, there's a couple of books, so that's another, tomorrow night it should be empty, ready to go. The other elephant in the room, of course, is that there's another cabinet turned up. This one's mine. And I put some rust converter on it, but I haven't actually painted it yet, and I'd like time to do that at some point before Christmas. Got to get in and do it. There's another one the same turned up, which is a bit rusty, which was a donation to the club, which is very useful. So that could do with a coat of paint too. So, they're jobs that need doing. I've got nothing else to do. Something else that turned up on the weekend, which is great. Apart from that, don't know what else to even tell you. Don't know if I've got much else to actually talk about. Still got to do the dishes up at the shed before bed, and then I'll be in bed. I'm sleeping in the van at the moment, which is nice. I went and had a nap there this afternoon because I was feeling it a bit. Back to work tomorrow. Axiomatic handles. You have to Google that one if you don't know what that is. And hatchet handles. And what else? Bench shovel handles. That's tomorrow's job. Excuse me. Anyway, I've about run out of steam. There's still 1,000 things that need putting away. I'm doing a fair bit every night. I'm really making some progress in here. There's empty boxes here everywhere. There's still 2 boxes to empty that'll go away fairly quickly. And all this stuff on here. And another bookcase to put up beside this one. So that's where we're at with that. It'll be 3 shelves of Model Engineer magazine and then another shelf of, a lower shelf of books at this point. Ads handles we're done with this week. Got them sorted last week. I'm done with them. I got into them on Thursday. No, Tuesday, Wednesday. Done bills off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday. So Tuesday I did ads handles. And then Wednesday I finished all the other handles. A few short bench shovels and some hammer handles. And then Thursday I spent most of the day on broom handles. Monday I spent most of the day on broom handles, and then the last 2 days I haven't done very much at all. So that's how that is. But it's stinking hot over there in the shed. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it in long pants and shirt and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's sort of what's happening. I'm not sure whether I'm going away for Christmas or what now. I'll keep everyone posted on that, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll be stopping here for a week, which would be very nice. I am going to a Christmas party with the Trades Guild. And I'd very much like, if they don't stop for Christmas, to get some foundry work done. I want to make a handle for this at some point, a crank handle. Got some thoughts about that. And make the parts for the little lathe to go in here and some other bits as well. Hasn't happened yet, but it might. Still haven't got patterns for that. Anyway, I'm going to call this, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you all sort of stopping around. It's very good to catch up. I'm going to go up and do the dishes and wash a pan and some plates and stuff and put some stuff away. And probably I'm going to crash out. I think I'm going to shut the shed here and move up the other end for sleep. Get all organised for the night. Get up in the morning and do it all again. Anyway, thanks guys, and more soon. And hopefully I'll have some actual video footage at some point when I get motivated enough to actually do some work. There's 1,000 projects. We could do a bit of a video on this, I guess, start and run it and stuff. And we could do a video on getting that pulled apart, that cylinder. We could probably do a lawnmower video, but that's not very exciting. We could do some roller maintenance videos. We could do how to make a seat out of a buffer video. Anyway, lots of stuff that we could do. We've just got to find time to actually film and edit. And at the moment, I'm a bit short. Anyway, Mark says, oh, look, a steamroller there. Yes. And a Howard tractor. Or a railway tug, actually, not a tractor. And a jackhammer. And some cabinets and a shower basin, a bulldog pump. And a ride-on lawnmower. And a probably 6 horsepower stationary engine. And so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm out. Thanks, guys. Not going away for Christmas. No, I'm not sure. Still thinking about that. Anyway, I'm out. Thanks, guys. Catch you around.